Imagine you have worked your entire life saving, building, and preparing for the moment when you could finally retire. Retirement is supposed to be the time when you breathe easier, when you wake up without rushing to the office, when you can spend mornings slowly sipping coffee on your porch instead of battling traffic. Yet, for many seniors, the peace they dreamed of slips away far too quickly. Often it is not strangers who take that peace, but their own children. Now let me be clear, our children are the joy of our lives. We love them deeply. But there are moments when love can blur into sacrifice, when saying yes too quickly can create a burden that weighs heavier than we ever expected. Some seniors end up giving away not just money, but time, health, and even independence, believing they are helping, but slowly losing themselves in the process. Let me tell you about Irene, a 72-year-old retired school teacher. When her son asked for financial help to pay off a business loan, she didn't hesitate. She pulled from her retirement savings, thinking it would be temporary. But one loan turned into another, and before she knew it, Irene's carefully built nest egg was cracked open, leaving her anxious each month about her bills. Irene's story is not unusual. Across America, many retired parents find themselves handing over things they cannot easily replace, thinking they are protecting their children, but unknowingly putting their own future at risk. The truth is, there are certain things you should never give your children after you retire, not because you don't love them, but because protecting your peace is one of the greatest gifts you can give them. Retirement is a new chapter of life, but it also comes with unique challenges. After 60 or 70 years of giving, many seniors struggle to switch gears and finally prioritize themselves. This is especially true in families where children, now adults, still lean heavily on their parents. Culturally, many of us grew up believing that being a good parent means always helping, no matter the cost. But in retirement, that mindset can turn dangerous. Unlike younger years, you no longer have decades ahead to rebuild your savings or recover from debt. Your health, energy, and security are more fragile than ever before. Studies show that seniors who give away too much, whether it's money, emotional energy, or personal time, often face higher stress levels, worse health outcomes, and increased risk of depression. And it's not just about finances. Your peace of mind, your freedom, and your sense of dignity are equally valuable. When those are drained, it doesn't only harm you, it can also create strain on your children who may one day need to support you when you can no longer manage. That's why this conversation is so important. It's not about pushing children away or being selfish. It's about setting healthy boundaries so that your retirement years remain joyful and secure. Because when you protect your peace, you protect your relationship with your children too. In this video, we will uncover 5 things you should never give your child after retirement if you want to protect your peace. These may not be the things you expect. Some might surprise you, and some might even make you nod in recognition of what you've already faced. As we walk through each one, you'll hear real stories, simple explanations, and practical ways to create balance between helping your children and safeguarding your own future. And before we dive in, let me ask, have you ever felt torn between helping your child and protecting yourself? If you have, please share your experience in the comments. Your story could inspire another senior who is quietly facing the same struggle. And if you find this helpful, please hit like and subscribe so you never miss another video from Senior Ways. Point 1. Do not give away your retirement savings. For decades, you worked hard, saved diligently, and perhaps made sacrifices so your children could have better opportunities. It feels natural to reach for your savings when your child comes to you with financial troubles. But once you retire, your retirement fund is not just money, it is your lifeline. It is the security that covers your rent or mortgage, your medication, your groceries, and the little pleasures that keep life joyful. Unlike your younger years, you cannot simply work longer hours or pick up a side job to rebuild what you lose. Let's take the story of Richard, a 74-year-old retired bus driver. When his daughter went through a divorce, she struggled with legal fees and moving expenses. Out of love, Richard gave her a large portion of his retirement savings, telling himself he would get by on less. At first, he felt proud, even heroic. But within 2 years, rising medical costs and inflation left him anxious about paying for his prescriptions. Richard admitted to a friend that he felt like a burden when he had to ask for help himself. The money he gave away did not solve his daughter's problems permanently, but it did weaken his own safety net. Experts explain that seniors who dip too deeply into retirement accounts risk not only running out of money, but also increased stress, which can lead to poorer health outcomes. Stress hormones like cortisol rise when you are financially insecure, and over time, this can harm your heart sleep and even memory. The takeaway is simple. If your child asks for help, offer emotional support or help them brainstorm resources, but never put your retirement savings on the line. By protecting your nest egg, you protect your ability to live independently and peacefully. Point 2. Do not give them full control of your home. Our homes are not just physical structures. They carry memories of family dinners, holiday mornings, and countless quiet evenings. For many seniors, the home represents independence and stability. Yet, too often retired parents sign over ownership or let children move in, permanently believing it will strengthen family ties or make life easier. What usually happens instead is tension, loss of privacy, and sometimes heartbreaking regret. Consider Maria, a 71-year-old widow. After her son lost his job, she welcomed him and his family into her small home, thinking it would be temporary. Months stretched into years, and soon Maria found her quiet mornings filled with noise, her kitchen no longer her own, and her bills higher than before. Eventually, disagreements over space and money left her feeling like a guest in her own house. She confided to her church group that she no longer felt free to invite friends over or enjoy the solitude she once loved. There is also the legal side to think about. Seniors who sign over property deeds to children may lose important rights. If the child goes through a divorce, bankruptcy, or legal dispute, the home could even be at risk. Lawyers caution that once a senior gives up ownership, it is incredibly difficult to reverse. Peace in retirement often comes from having a safe private space to call your own. That does not mean you cannot help your child for short periods, but boundaries are essential. Setting time limits for living arrangements or exploring outside resources, such as community housing programs, can keep the parent-child relationship loving rather than strained. By keeping your home under your control, you preserve not just a roof over your head, but the peace of mind that comes with true independence. Point 3. Do not give them endless loans or handouts. One of the hardest things for parents to watch is their grown children struggling. Whether it is debt on stable work or poor financial decisions, the urge to fix it never goes away. Many retirees slip into the role of lender, believing a few loans or cash gifts will turn things around. But when giving becomes a pattern, it does not only strain your finances, it can damage the relationship itself. Take Barbara, a 76-year-old grandmother who loved spoiling her son and granddaughter. What began as covering a missed utility bill turned into monthly temporary loans, then paying off credit cards, and even covering rent during unemployment. Barbara never complained aloud, but she started avoiding phone calls, fearing they would end in another request for money. Her son grew dependent, no longer searching for permanent solutions. Over time, Barbara realized that her generosity had not brought closeness, but resentment. She whispered to a friend, "I feel like a bank, not a mother." Psychologists often warn that giving endless handouts creates unhealthy dependency. Adult children may lose motivation to find long-term solutions if they believe help will always be there. For seniors, this creates ongoing financial and emotional stress. Each request chips away at peace, leaving guilt when saying yes and guilt when finally saying no. The healthiest choice is setting firm limits. Offering guidance on budgeting, connecting children with financial counselors, or encouraging job training programs are constructive ways to help without draining your own retirement. Remember, your peace matters. A no that protects your security is not a rejection of your child. It is a loving boundary that ensures you will still be standing strong tomorrow. Point 4. Do not give up your time and health completely. Money is not the only thing retirees give too freely. Time and health are just as precious, and yet many seniors sacrifice them without realizing the cost. Whether it is constant babysitting of grandchildren, endless errands, or being on call for every small crisis, the toll on your well-being can be enormous. Edward, a 73-year-old retired factory worker, adored his 2 young grandchildren. When his daughter asked him to watch them after school, he happily agreed. But what began as a few afternoons soon became every weekday and even weekends. Edward found himself exhausted skipping his daily walks and falling behind on doctor appointments. When he hurt his back lifting a child into a car seat, his daughter felt guilty, but the pattern continued. Edward admitted that he loved the children dearly, but he also missed having time for fishing reading and quiet mornings with his wife. Science supports Edward's experience. Caregiving, while rewarding in small doses, can increase stress hormones and wear down physical health when it becomes constant. Seniors who overcommit often face higher rates of hypertension, back pain, and fatigue. Peace in retirement depends on balance. You are not selfish for protecting your time. You deserve hours to rest, to pursue hobbies, to exercise, and to nurture friendships. A healthier approach is to define limits clearly. Maybe you can help with childcare 2 afternoons a week, but not every day. Perhaps you can drive your child to the store occasionally, but not become their only transportation. By communicating boundaries kindly but firmly, you preserve your health and energy. Your children may resist at first, but in the long run, they will respect and appreciate a parent who stays healthy and present, rather than burned out and resentful. Point 5. Do not give up your voice in important decisions. Sometimes what children want from their parents is not money or housing, but influence. They may push their retired parents to make choices about healthcare investments or even lifestyle that fit the child's comfort more than the parent's well-being. Giving up your voice in these matters might seem like an easy way to avoid conflict, but it can rob you of dignity and create long-term regret. Consider Evelyn, a 78-year-old retired nurse. When her son insisted she move into an assisted living community for her own good, she agreed, even though she still felt capable of living independently. Within months, Evelyn found herself lonely, disconnected from her church, and missing the garden she once tended daily. She admitted quietly, "I did not speak up because I didn't want to argue." By silencing her own wishes, Evelyn lost more than her home. She lost her sense of control. Psychologists remind us that autonomy, the ability to make one's own choices, is deeply tied to mental health in older age. When seniors feel their voice does not matter, depression and hopelessness often follow. Protecting your peace means insisting that your opinions, preferences, and desires remain central in decisions about your life. Whether it is healthcare where you live or how you spend your money, your voice should never be surrendered. Discuss options with your children, yes, but do not hand over your authority. When you stand firm, you model for your children the importance of self-respect, which is a lesson far more valuable than compliance. Final thoughts. Now that we've walked through these 5 points, let's pause and bring it all together. Retirement is not the time to give away everything you've worked for. It's the time to enjoy the rewards of decades of effort. Protecting your retirement savings ensures you have the financial stability to live with confidence. Guarding your home keeps your independence intact. Saying no to endless handouts prevents unhealthy dependency and keeps relationships healthier. Preserving your time and health allows you to thrive physically and emotionally. And finally, keeping your voice strong ensures that your dignity and choices remain honored. Each of these boundaries may feel difficult at first, especially if you've spent a lifetime putting others first. But remember, protecting your peace is not about pushing your children away. It's about creating a healthy balance where love and support can flow both ways. When you say no to what drains you, you are saying yes to a retirement filled with freedom, joy, and true connection. So now I want to hear from you. Have you ever faced one of these situations, whether it was giving money space-time or your say in important choices, and later realized it threatened your peace? Please share your story in the comments. Your experience could be the reminder another senior needs to set healthy boundaries today. And if this video has resonated with you, please take a moment to click like and subscribe to Senior Ways. That way, you'll never miss another conversation designed to help you live with wisdom, joy, and strength in your later years. Retirement is your time. Guard it well and give yourself the gift of peace.